Hello everyone, Minute Plus Meditation here. It is Monday, February the 5th, and it's the feast of Saint Agatha today. Getting very, very close to the beginning of the season of Lent. It's next week, not this week, but next week. Okay, so the first reading is from 1 Kings chapter 8. This is the dedication of the first temple. Many of the rabbis were convinced that was the first temple, was the only temple that was really consecrated in effect by God. So mega sacrifices are offered, like thousands and thousands of animals. And it's all done. The temple is completed in the 7th month, I believe. No, it's not here. The 7th, it took 7 years in the 7th month of the 7th week of the 7th day. It's all sevens, right? Because it's a sign of the covenant, the number of the covenant. So, but the end of the reading is what I want to focus on. There was nothing in, so the Ark of the Covenant is placed in there. So, when they came out of the land of Egypt, and when the priests came out of the holy place, meaning the holy place of the temple, a cloud filled the house of the Lord. So a Shekinah, the Shekinah. A cloud filled the house of the Lord, so that the priests could not stand to minister because of the cloud. For the glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord. This is what's called the Shekinah, the glory cloud. This is the cloud. Now, this is only a foreshadow of the true temple that will not house the Ark of the Covenant, but will house the Son of the living God. The Shekinah, the glory cloud, God's presence will descend on earth. The power of the Most High will overshadow you, and the child born of you will be called Son of God. So Mary will be, in effect, she will be overshadowed by this same glory cloud that no one could be around, right? All the priests had to get out because of the glory of the Lord. But Mary is able to do this because she is, from the first moment of her conception, she is full of grace. She is Kakari Tomene. She's the one who has been, is now, and will always be filled with the divine favor. So she is now the new living temple of God. She's the Ark of the Covenant, as it were, carrying not the tablets, but carrying Jesus Christ, second person of the Blessed Trinity. So there's so much richness here in this, but it's all pointing to, even our churches, our own body. The churches, of course, house Jesus Christ if the real presence is there. How do we treat our churches? How do we enter our churches? Do you genuflect? And many people today, Catholics, they don't genuflect. Perhaps many still do, or some do, but we know that there's a crisis of faith in the real presence. So we, as individuals, and presumably anybody listening to this and putting up with me, believes in the real presence. And so when we go into the church, it's a devout act, genuflection, looking at Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, in the tabernacle, and worshiping him, and thanking him and adoring him for being there in the church. Then, of course, it's our own body when we're in the state of grace. Not in the state of grace, go to confession. But we're in the state of grace, we are the living temple of the Holy Trinity. So many reflections there. We need to, of course, in effect, treat ourselves accordingly, as temples of the living God, because that's what we are. We're walking temples when we're in the state of grace. And if we're not, God wants us to be there, so he's given us a sacrament, either baptism or confession, to either put us there or get us back there, to be the temple of the Holy Trinity. To the Gospel, Mark chapter 6, Jesus and the disciples, they cross over the lake and came to the land of Gennesaret and moored at the boat. So all the people see him. They bring all the sick to him. And they laid the sick in the marketplaces and begged him that they might touch even the fringe of his cloak, and all who touched it were healed. So you see, first of all, they bring the sick to him. So do we bring the sick to Jesus in our prayer? Do you? Do you have a part of your prayer is intercessory prayer, bringing the sick, not just the physically sick, but more importantly, those who are spiritually sick? Do we bring them to him? Do we beg him that they will receive the grace to even want to touch the fringe of his cloak, as it were, want to go to confession, want to encounter him and be overwhelmed by the gospel. We need to be very conscientious about doing this and bring these people in our prayer, even if they resist, they don't care, they're nonplussed about it. We need to actively bring them to Jesus in our prayer, and then we let Jesus do the rest. In the meantime, we try to be good examples and so on, but it's ultimately Jesus who has to do the work. The person has to be disposed to this, but our prayer can help them be disposed. And prayer and mortifications as well, sacrifices offered for their conversion, for their openness of heart. So just as these people brought all the sick to Jesus, you and I are called to bring the sick to Jesus. God bless you.